Hello, my fellow traders. I hope you're doing great, doing well. So, welcome to our webinar about the EU regulations and especially the MiCA regulation and how it is impacting the different exchanges for European users. In this webinar, we'll be getting into the details of what is MiCA, how it is impacting the exchanges, how the exchanges are complying to the recommendations provided by MiCA, and especially Binance for the European users. We will also discuss about how this impacts your trading with the Bitsgap tools and how you need to start converting to USDC or any other unaffected stablecoin before the end of March, which is the deadline. So let's, basically, we want to avoid any trading issues. And as different exchanges will have their own agenda, their own timeline in converting, we just need to stay ahead of it in order to, keep our automation running as we want it to. So before we get started on this webinar, I would just like to put some emphasis on overall user privacy and user fund security. Really note that all crypto-related channels are targeted by ill-intentioned individuals, scammers, who will pretend to be admins and support team. So beware of the fake profiles on Telegram, Discord. They disguise themselves. Just know that, real admins will never, ever, ever send any private message either to welcome or to help you out or to support you. That just never happens. So, really, if you're getting a private message and if it is not validated and you are not the initiator of the private message, then assume that there is a 99.99% chance that it is a scammer. So one thing to note is that any support is only provided via the live chat on bitsgap.com using the app or using the support at bitsgap.com email. Those are the only two ways that you will get any official support. So that being said, let's get started. So basically, regulations, what are we talking about? So what we want to do is really address, what's happening in the market and how European, especially for European users, what's happening on the exchanges. In our case, so MiCA regulation, what is this all about? So let's get started. There we go. So basically, first step, let's try to define what is MiCA. It's a regulation. It's an entity that is regulating all the assets on the EU market, so European market, and specially designed for crypto assets. The regulation itself is going to cover crypto assets and all the financial services that go around it, and that is typically impacting exchanges on what services they can provide to the users. It's going to have areas where it is going to monitor, detect any market abuse. It is really designed to control a bit what's happening in the market space, and very much focused around investor protection, things like that. So there are other aspects which are related to system resilience and security to protocols, but those are not where we're going to be impacted directly. What's going to be interesting is really about how the assets are going to be regulated. So there is one latest publication, and this has been going on for some time. I think it started 2 years ago, where the entity started setting up rules and how we were going. And has been a latest commission, which was done in June, which was setting the pace at which all the exchanges in Europe had to start moving towards a much more regulated framework. So, one of the things that we can see is that the European Commission says that all crypto assets and services will be provided only in compliant ARTs and AMTs, which are assets and EMTs. I don't remember, but we'll find that somewhere. There was I'll get to the explanation of what ART and EMT means just afterwards. But basically those are regulating is saying that any orders which are purchases or sales or execution of orders around crypto assets on behalf of European clients needs to be done only in a given set of validated asset. And those are where the stablecoins are concerned. So if we look into the details, basically every exchange is going to comply to this requirement, because otherwise you cannot run in the given region. So for European region, and especially Binance, what they have been doing is that they have had an announcement lately, which is saying that in order to comply with this regulation, they are going to delist all the trading pairs which are going to be USDT based, because USDT has not been validated as a MiCA compliant currency. So the stablecoin that has been validated is, as of today, USDC. And so they'll be switching off on the deadline, which is the 31st of March. They'll be shutting down all trading on USDT pairs for European users. So what does this mean from a pure user perspective? From a user, we've been using USDT for a very long time. Basically the different pairs that are not validated as being compliant with MiCA are USDT pairs, FDUSD, TUSD, USDP, DIA, Euro, USD, USDC, and PAX. So all these pairs will not be available to users to be able to trade. So those basically what's going to happen is all those pairs are going to disappear from your user interface. So there is an announcement that was made, and we can have a quick look onto that announcement. Where is it? Should be somewhere here. There we go. So this says this announcement was on the 3rd, and it says that it's an announcement that is going to be impacting users in the European area, which is true because the MiCA only applies to European users. Following the guidelines, blah, 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 what they're saying is that all the stablecoins, which are USD, FUSD, TUSD, DAI, UST, USD, PAX, those pairs are going to be disabled and not available to users in Europe anymore. The ones that will be available will be the USDC pair, Euro pair, and the Euro-based pair. These will allow users to keep on trading. So the overall issue that, let me bring it up here. Or is it not coming up? There we go. This one. So the announcement from Binance, here it is. It says it was listed on the 3rd of March. And so all the pairs that are not compliant to MiCA are these one, and these are going to get disabled. So not available for EU users. So what does this basically mean from a pure user perspective? So let's have a quick look on that. So one thing to keep in mind before we start getting into the impact is that, you will not lose any asset. Even if the pairs are disabled for future trading, future by I mean tomorrow and day after, not futures as leverage tokens, no assets are going to be lost. If you have an order which is running on a BTC USDT pair, what's going to happen is just, those orders are going to get shut down and the funds are going to get transferred to your exchange wallet. So you're never going to lose anything. Base and code currencies are just going to be put into your exchange wallets. What does this mean is that from a pure, if you have a bot running, basically what you will have to do, you need a manual intervention. So this will not be automatic. This is just, switching from a BTC USDT pair to a BTC USDC pair is pretty much as you were switching to a totally different pair. So what's going to happen is that you guys, from a user perspective, will have to manage this. And this will be done manually. And I'll talk about, what is the basic process of how we are going to convert it, etc. One thing to note is that if you have a bot running, or you have whether it's a grid bot or DCA bot, whatever, on Binance anyway, European users do not have access to futures trading, so that's not an issue. Issue is going to be with the loop bot, the BTD bot, the grid bot, DCA bot, etc., which are spot based. So what's going to happen is that on the 31st, Binance is going to just cancel all the orders. They get canceled on the exchange. So seen from a bot perspective, it's going to see that, the orders that it was trying to set, the bot is not just not going to be able to set them. So they will be shown in gray. And gray, when you see a gray line on one of the on the trends, that typically means that there is some sort of synchronization error between what exists from an order perspective on an exchange and what the bot is trying to do. So, sorry. At that point, all your bots will get these gray lines, will not be able to place any new orders on the given pair as it is not available anymore. So basically what's going to happen is that your funds are going to get back to your exchange wallets and the bots will just sit there. They'll be idle and not able to execute the automation anymore. So again, I put emphasis on this. You're not losing anything. It's just you're not trading anymore. So, but that if you're running an automation with Bitsgap is still a concern because we want it to be trading automatically. So, in order to comply with this, how do we move forward? How do we transition the bots and the orders? Because this could be also manuals or orders placed on either the exchange or using the trading terminal that Bitsgap provides. But you will have to move from all the USDT pairs to a USDC pair. And this is a manual, lossless process. The impact from a user perspective is, pretty, I would say there is no risk. There is nothing implied in the background because all your assets are preserved. So there will be no new realized loss. If you bought an asset at a given price, you still have that asset at that given price. The good thing is that USDC and USDT are pretty much, balanced, and they're at the same value because they're all pegged to US dollar. So there will be no loss. The thing that you will be losing is the statistic on your bot, because eventually you'll close a bot and that is the end of it. And if you want to run a new bot with assets that you already have on a new bot, well, you're just creating a new bot. So you restart the overall statistics because it's a new bot. And that may have an impact on your real PML, the average buy price, etc. Because when you're starting a new bot, basically it's going to use the current price as the starting point. So there is some difference there. So the stats will be lost, and we'll talk about that when we're talking about the process, where you will have to do some sort of manual tracking on that. And that can only be done manually. There's no other way. So what will the users need to do before the 31st or after the 31st? Basically, what the users need to do is, shut down the existing bots and hold the assets. Do not sell your assets at current price. You need to keep those assets so that you can manually restart new bots using the existing assets and pretty much with the same settings as the last bot that you closed down. So you're preserving the range, which is the high limit and the low limit, the grid levels, the grid step percentage, the buy to sell ratio for the grid bots. And if we're talking about DCA bots, we will have additional things such as the multipliers that we were using. So you have to preserve the same settings. And it's going to be pretty straightforward. Now, let's just quickly have a look on what is the process and how we are going to address this from a user perspective. Basically, what you need to understand is that every pair is defined as base, vis, quote. So you can see you've got BTC USDT, BTC USDC, you've got ETH BTC, and you always have this distribution between base and quote. Quote is the money or the fund in which you're taking profit, and base is the asset that you're trading. So in order to migrate from a BTC USDT to a BTC USDC, the things that you need, it's a 4-step process, which is you will have to stop the existing bot. You will have to save the setup and the stats. That is also done in the platform, and we'll talk about that. That is the history tab that you will have in the platform that you can use as a reference point. But one thing very critical is that you need to preserve the assets. You do not want to sell the assets. So when you're shutting down the bot, there are options for GridBot and DCABot to preserve the assets, not to sell them, keep them. So that is what you want to do. So first step will be stopping the current bot. Second step will be to convert your assets. And if you're using code currency, which is USDT, you will have to convert those USDT to USDC. And there are different ways of doing this. It can either be done, when you're using, if you're using, well, it is concerning Binance anyway here. But if you look into, where is it? If you look into the announcement from Binance, which is here, no, which is this one, in here, in this announcement, they are talking about, the fact that you can convert. So if you click on this link, it's going to take you, I'm not going to log in into any account, but basically it's going to take you to this conversion interface where you can say, well, I want to convert 100 USDT, and that's going to convert it to USDC. There is a difference because the trading is a bit different. So either you can do it here, or you could also, if you are using the Bitsgap platform, you could also go into trading, and in here you could look up USDT / USDC. Is it going to no, they don't have the pair. So for Binance, I am on Binance, yes. So far you'll not be able to trade it directly, so you will have to go through this Binance conversion. And this is then what it's going to do is convert the available USDT that you have into USDC. And then once that is done, you then switch back to, once you've done the conversion, then you just have to switch back to your trading interface. You create a new bot, and what you're going to do at that point is you're going to replicate the same bot as the previous one. The same bot, you have to apply the same settings, which means the ranges, the grid step percentage, the grid levels, etc. And these settings are going to be available in the UI. So if I move back to my interface here, when you're looking at Bitsgap bots, you will have an history tab in here. And this history tab is going to give you all the settings that existed. So I can go into the details, and I have the details. These are actually for the loop bot. If I go to my history, I've got, it's again a loop bot. But basically we'll have all the details in here, which will be the high range, low range, the order counts. I'll have to stop, and we'll do this as an example just later. We'll stop a grid bot and see what this looks like. So you'll get your so you'll get all your information there. So you replicate the settings, which is using the same setup. And once you've done with that, you just restart the bot. So it's a pretty simple 4-step process. Stop the bot, preserve the setting, save the settings, save your key indicators, convert the existing USDT, replicate it to move to the new bot, and restart the bot. So it's pretty straightforward. So let's get a bit more into details of how do we do that. So I'm going to separate this in two major areas. One is going to be for the grid bots, and the other one is going to be for the DCA bots. And DCA bots has two different things that we need to consider. So first thing, when you're going on a grid bot, what you'll do is you'll start by stopping the bot, and that is accessible on your main UI. When you are, let me bring that up. When you're on your main UI, you can, when you're looking at your active bots, let me see if I've got a grid bot. Yes, I've got one here. Okay, I'll use this one as an example. And so when you go to the details over here, you have a stop bot. Once you click on stop bot, it's going to ask you how do you want to stop it? So maybe I can zoom in. There we go. So you have two options here. One is selling all the base currency. So in this case, I'm trading XRP. I don't want to sell my XRP and get USDT. I'm not interested in that. What I want to do is keep the XRP and the USDT. So it's just going to look at the orders. If you've got red orders, which are selling XRP, those will be removed and you'll get XRP in your wallet, and USDT, which are the green lines, which are actually USDT, that will also get back to your exchange. So once you have your XRP and USDT, you confirm and you'll get there. Once you have your USDT and XRP, the step after that is to convert the USDT that you got. So now you have XRP and USDT. What you want to do is convert the XRP, not the XRP, the USDT. You want to convert the USDT using the convert panel. Depending on exchanges, some may allow you to trade it directly using the trading panel, but that's not our case. So you've got XRP USDT. Once you've converted your USDT, now you have XRP and USDC. Great. Then what you do, now that you have your both assets, what you want to do, what you want to do is recreate a new bot. And you want to create a new bot, select a pair which is USDC based. So if we were trading XRP here, now I'm going to trade XRP USDC. I've got available XRP from the bot that I closed, and I've got USDC, that is older USDT that was converted. Now, what you need to do at that point is look up these figures, which is depending on your grids. Important things are the range, high level, low level, grid levels, the amount of grid levels that you have, the step percentage that you have, and especially, the buy-sell ratio that you had, because you don't want to be doing any additional smart things where you want to sell some of the XRP to get more USDC, etc. There is some automatic buys and sells happening in the background, but you want to minimize that. So what you're going to do is reload the bot settings as if you were doing a start. That is one way. One of the things is also really capturing a screenshot of that before you do anything. So you reload your settings, and when you've set up your bot in a pretty same sort of setup, then you start your new bot. And there you go. You have converted an XRP USDT to an XRP USDC, and you're good to go. So from a pure grid perspective, I would say there is no, that's the only option. You can do it now just to get ready and do it as things are moving forward. Remember, the deadline is on the 31st of March. If you think, if you want to do it tomorrow, you can do it tomorrow. If you want to do it in a week or 10 days time, you can do it in 10 days time. No big issue. When you're starting a new bot, the only thing that you need to be aware about is that a lot of the statistics that are running on a bot, which is typically, if you look at it, the P&L, for example, let me bring that up. The P&L, the bot profit, things like that. So all the data that you are seeing in here, which is, what's happening. So the investment amount, the total P&L, the bot profit, all that is going to get lost on the new bot because you're actually starting a new bot. So that's the only thing. So if you've got a positive P&L overall, it's not a big issue. What you want to be careful about is if you have a negative P&L. Because if you're getting a negative PL, the new bot that you will be starting will be sitting at 0. And if you're making 1% profit on that, and your previous profit at the time you closed the past bot was -10, you're still sitting at -9. So there is some manual management that needs to be done on that. So what I would basically recommend, on grid bots or DCA bots, what I want to, what I want you guys to do is, before shutting the bot, take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of the trend, status, and especially the details. This is the information that you need to capture, because this is the current settings of the bot. And what you want the new bot to do is exactly have the same settings. Grid levels, grid step percentage. The investment amount will change a bit. It will change based on your current performance, because basically if your average buy price, which is the yellow line here, is somewhere higher and your current price is down here when you are doing the conversion, you may end up with an overall investment size which is lower, which is normal, because the XRP that I would have in my case is worth less. But that is not a big issue in our case, because that is just a representation that we have of the investment. So just, take a screenshot of this. What I usually do is grab my screenshot tool and take a screenshot. Okay, done. Now I have my screenshot, and I can compare my new bot to this existing bot, to this existing setting. So if I was if I was doing a setup, what I would do, let me take this out. I've got PPT. Okay. What I want to do is get my screenshot. Okay. Here is my screenshot. And what I want to do is get into my bot settings. I've got this guy here. I can put them side by side. There we go. Okay. Let me move this a bit around. Okay. I've got my setup. And what I would be doing is saying, well, okay, I've got my setup. What I want to do is stop this bot, keep XRP, confirm. That is going to close my bot. Okay. Once the bot is closed, I will find it in the history tab. Sometimes you just need to wait a bit and it comes up. So now I've got in my history tab, I've got the stat of what was my performance. I can look at the details, and pretty much it should be it is quite similar. So that is what I want to replicate. So in our case, I did the XRP was done. So what I can do now is start a new bot. I'll start the same type of bot, a grid bot. What I want to use is, let me maximize this. What I want to do is select my exchange. I want an XRP. And what I'm going to look now is for my USDC pair. There we go. Okay. I've got my I've got my balance. I've got my 700 XRP. So what I'm going to do now is I have the screenshot. Okay, so I know it was, what were my settings? 313, and this is what I want to have. So I'm going to go into, either I can go into history, XRP, bot actions restart. Okay. That pretty much sets the basic settings as they're supposed to be. And what I want to do is, it was XRP, USDC. Okay. What I'm going to do is get my settings back. So it was 31349. So it was 3, that was my high, 31349. I had a low of 2.3856. I had 14 grid levels, which was a 196. Okay. Okay. Pretty much similar. And the investment size was 2178, but that cannot be met because I have not converted my USDT. So if I want to, do I have USDC? I don't want to connect to my real exchange for this. I am on demo. Can I trade it on demo? Let's see if I can trade it. USDC slash USDT. Yes, there is a pair. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so I've got USDC, which is my base, and USDT, which is my code. So what I want to do is buy at current price. I want to buy 1,000 USDC, and I'll just buy. That will place a limit order. Limit order is filled. So if I go back to my portfolio in my balance, now I should have USDC. So that is good. Perfect. So now I can restart my bot. So what I'm going to do is select a pair, which is XRP slash USDC. This is the one. I had 14. My upper price was 31349. High price was 3.3149. My low price was 2.3856. Is this correct? 31349, 3 dot, there's a 3, which is too much. There we go. 129, and here we had 23856, 23856. Okay. Perfect. So now what it's going to do from a pure setup perspective is that it is going to use the existing XRP, and I can see it over here. It is using basically, I've got 737 XRP. So what I can do, I need to match that closer to what I have because I don't want any additional transaction here. Let me just move it out here. So I need an investment of what was my previous investment. It was 2178. So I'll try that. 2178. 604. Okay. This should be pretty close. Balance is 7 33, so I can increase this a bit. Let me, so if I put it at 2282, 2282, 715, 715, that's pretty close actually. And 400 USDC, which are my two orders which are down here. This should be, I could even take it a bit higher, I suppose, compared to where it closed. Yeah, this should be pretty much it. So I've got my range set up correctly. I've got the grid line set up correctly. I've got my grid step, which is correctly. If I need any additional movement on this, I could even, if I could reduce the amount and play a bit with where I'm setting my buy orders, basically the ratio at which I'm playing. But I want to have a ratio which is going to be pretty close to the one that I had on when I closed my bot. So in here, my price was somewhere here. I had two buy orders below, and that's what I really want to replicate. So I want to have the same amount of lines. So here I'm pretty okay, and the investment size is pretty okay. I'm running in USDC, and I suppose, level is good. So I just need to get that setting and restart my bot. So the bot is going to launch. And now I could have moved it up a bit. I've got 3 lines here, which is not good. Never mind, but this has replicated exactly my bot, which was on a USDT pair, and now it is on a USDC pair. I will have some sort of leftover on the XRP because I'll not be able to match exactly the same thing, but I'm really minimizing any loss, and I'm not selling them cheap. I'm really replicating it from a USDT pair to a USDC pair. So in this case, if we go back to our process, this is what we did, which is we took a pure, where is it? Here it is. We took a bot, we shut down the bot, we kept the resources, the assets, we converted the USDT to USDC, we reloaded the bot settings with the same settings, grid levels, grid step, buy and sell ratio, etc. And we restarted a bot. So we're all good. But now if we look at the bot itself, as you can see, where is it? Lost it. There we go. This one. Yes, it is this one. Okay, yeah. And so now you can see that my performance setting, which was my P&L, my bot profit, all those stats have been reset. And so that is where it is important, not in the case where you have a bot which is running on a positive P&L, but if you have a negative P&L, then it is important to keep track of that from a longer time, from a time perspective. And if your bot, for example, when you shut it down, and you can see that in history, there are certain that were shut down very much in loss. If there is a lot of loss there, you keep in mind that you have to compensate for that. So just from a correct reporting perspective. So this was an example of how you can how you're going to manage that on a grid bot. Now, from a DCA bot perspective, things are going to be a bit different. There is not much different. The same overall concept is again the same. What I want to do is really figure out a strategy that is going to make sense. So in an ideal case, and the DCA bots, you're going to keep them running until the 31st, because that's the deadline. And what you want to achieve during that period is having the DCA bot have a take profit, because that is the end of the bot cycle. And what you want to do is restart on that bot cycle. So first thing you need to do on the DCA bots, and I would recommend doing it right away, is just disabling the cycle restart, the automatic or the immediate restart of the bot as of today. So remove the immediate setup and move it. In order to do that, you just move it to a stochastic or an RSI on longer time period, which would be a day or an hour, whatever fits your needs. Doing that is going to put the bot in a position where it's still going to keep on trading until the 31st on the current pair, because that pair exists. You can keep on trading. Hopefully, it will trigger a take profit. And once it triggers the take profit, it will be put on halt. It will just not restart immediately. So you have time to shut down your bot and then do exactly the same process, which is get your USDT, convert it to USDC, reload the bot settings that you were using. And in this case, you would be using the range, the grid levels, the step, the multipliers, all the settings which are provided on the UI. Just want to replicate those settings and start a new bot on a new pair. So this is the ideal case where before the 31st, everything is running and you will get a TP, a take profit, which will allow you to migrate your bot to a new pair. Now, that is the ideal case, and that may happen. There are big chances that that will happen. How do you do that? So let me just go back to, here. And what I want to do is get here. So how you're going to do this? Do I have a DCA? I do have a DCA. It's a futures, but it doesn't matter. It's exactly the same thing. So you're going to go into the details. Let me just increase this. And what you're going to do is do modify bot. When you go to the bot settings, you'll see that in my case, these are designed to start immediately, which means whenever you take profit, is there a take profit somewhere? There should be one over here, I think. Let me get down to 5 minutes. Yeah, it should be behind this one, the green one here. That was my take profit, and it started and it created the grid. For the moment, I'm down below, so I don't have access to it. Doesn't matter. What you want to do is switch the start of the next cycle based on an indicator. The ones you can use are the RSI, and move them to a high period, let's say 1 day. And this shows you that an RSI level of low, in order to start, you only had one occurrence over the 30 past days, which gives you more than enough time to look at that. So if I bring up the RSI over here, the only time over the past 30 days, let me bring this down on a daily period. Okay. So not a great example as it's not moving much. This one is not moving much, but never mind. This has been just going down, 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 and down. So, in here, the RSI, or maybe if I look at the stochastic, does the stochastic provide some more up and downs? It does provide some more up and downs, but it's just going to fire once it gets below this 20% line. And in our case, we were under. So this is only going to trigger once. And it has not triggered any other time as an entry point over the past days. That's why it's telling me it just happened once. So if you take profit, this will block your bot and it will put it in pause mode. So you can, on a daily basis, just check it out. If the bot has triggered its take profit, you have stop. That is when you want to move to a new pair, and that would pretty much come down to stopping the bot. In my case, it is running, it has no take profit, so I still do have some assets, and this is my second example where I want to keep it. But in your case, you would have taken profit, so you don't have any base asset, so you just close the bot. It has no position, and then you convert your USDT to USDC and start a new bot on a new bot which would, with the same settings that are provided here, which is giving you the order step, the number of orders, the multipliers that you're using, the investment that you were using, and just recreate a new bot on a new pair. And so you're all good. Now, the second case, which is going to be a bit more tricky, is if this take profit does not happen on a DCA bot. So if that does not happen, well, the issue is that trading pair will be gone. So you will not be able to trade anymore on that. So if you have any DCA orders, which are the green lines here, do I have an example of that? Let me see if I have an example of this. Let me bring up active bots. Do I have DCA? No, I don't have a DCA here. Let me start a DCA bot. Let's start a DCA bot. Let's start on what am I going to use? Let's use 3/USDT. Okay, I want to invest 1,000. I've got my I'll do just some manual adjustments. I've got averaging orders is 707. Multipliers are step multipliers 1.4. This is what I tend to use generally, and a split ratio of 1/3 pretty much. Okay, I've got enough USDT. Okay, so I've got my setting and I'll just start it. Okay, so on here, RSI, I can remove it. I want to remove the RSI. I'm just keeping the stochastic. Okay, so once this bot is going to get started, it's waiting for its initial order. That's why you see base order here. I did set it to start immediately. Yes, based order type was a limit order. So the limit order is placed. And I can see that when I'm going to my orders, there is a limit order set to buy, and it is just waiting for it to execute. So I just need a little bit of retracement. I could have done it when I was starting the bot. I could have done it as a market order, which would have been easier for me. There we go. So now the limit order has been placed, and several things have been placed on the graph. So I've got my DCA orders, which are my averaging orders, which are going to allow me to reduce my average entry points. And I've got my take profit, which is here, which I did not modify. So I'm going to modify that. Let me get back to my settings, modify. I'll go to take profit. I want that to be around 3%. 3. Okay. I'll set that. Okay. Configuration is set. It is set to restart automatically whenever the take profit is hit. So the changes that I was talking about, the way to capture this in the previous step was to get in here, modify your boot, move it to an indicator signal. Let's take stochastic on an hour or a daily basis, and that the 0. Once it takes profit, it will just sit there. Okay, move it. Now, imagine the case that this take profit does not get hit. If it has not been hit, and you still have a current position, which means that I have some SUI that I have here, 109, which is worth $300. And I've got a bunch of orders down here, which are waiting to be executed, as this is my cycle, going through the DCA orders, reducing my average buy price, and then taking profit as soon as it comes back up. So these orders will be cancelled on the exchange. And when they will get cancels, rather than being displayed in green over here, they will be displayed in gray. They will be displayed in gray because the exchange will not be processing these orders anymore. Same thing for the take profit, which is displayed in red. If you will, at that time, when you will go to your bot orders, you will see those orders where you have all the information that you need, which is the amount that is on that order and the price level that is on that order. So this information is something that you will want to capture before ending the bot, because this is the spread of your multipliers from a pricing perspective, which plays on the amount, and the spacing perspective from a price perspective. So that is where this information is going to be important. And when you're closing the bot, you may have executed maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. You still have a few more where you have to go through the cycle. When you're closing the bot, it will also show you another key information, which is your DCA price. The DCA price, which is given by this blue line, and this is going to give you exactly the price, the average buy price. So when you're shutting down this bot, stop the bot, you could basically, you don't want to convert to USDT. So remember, you have a screenshot of all the settings, the orders, the amounts, everything that you need to be able to replicate that. You keep the SUI because you don't want to sell it now. You have the average buy price, which is given to you by this DCA line. And what you're going to do is confirm, and it's going to keep all the assets, and you're done. So now I still have my SUI. So I've got my $300 worth of SUI. I know from my history tab I know where my DCA price was, okay? And from my screenshot, I know the DCA price. So either what I can do is take this SUI, go to my trading panel. I know my average buy price was, if it was at 336, for example, I could just say, okay, I want to sell at 315. Let's say my average buy price from my bot was 315. I could say sell at this price the whole amount and sell. And that would place a limit order saying, well, I'll sell these assets at the average buy price. So that would be a break-even type of thing. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it would be to say, well, what I want to do, if I go back to my, here, not this one, where is it? Here it is. If I go back to my process, got all the indicators, average buy price, the orders, the settings, everything. What you would have to do, and what you can do, is manage this cycle manually, which means that you're going to position DCA orders with the amounts and the price that was provided in the order UI when you were looking at your bot before closing it, and that you screenshotted. And you would set these orders as limit buys and an order to sell your SUI at the average buy price. Once these orders are set, of course, you're not running a bot anymore. So the calculations, automatic calculations are gone. So you will have to do some math at that point where whenever one of these orders is executed, your average buy price is, once you've done some math, is going to be some at a lower level. So you would need to update manually that sell order in order to reflect, your averaging of your price. So this last cycle will need to be managed manually. Now, the good thing compared to grid bots, this can be done manually. It can be managed because it's a slower process. So you will have to manage that. And the goal here is to complete the last cycle that was not able to finish before the 31st. Once the cycle is completed, then you can start a new bot on a new pair with a USDC pair. So it's at this point, there will be, I would say, a decision point where do you want to manually process in order to get the most out of it? Or you could also say, well, when I was closing the bot, it had some loss on the last cycle, and I'm good with it. So just close it and start a new bot, and do not bother with the hassle of manually managing the DCA orders, calculating the average buy price for the last cycle. That is also an option, and that is not the best way, but it is an option, and it's your choice. So both can be done. So as I said, DCA bots before 31st, disable cycle restart, do your conversion, start a new bot. If it has not converted, two options: either you stop it and restart and accept the loss on the last cycle, or do the manual process of managing the last cycle. And as a final remarks, well, basically, if you're still in this video, it's that you are using Binance and you're a European. Those are the only two things that make it that you're concerned about this. One thing to know, there is no way around this. It is Binance being regulated by the MiCA regulation, which has to go there. There is no option. We cannot do anything to automate it. You just have to do the manual process. There is a migration plan. That's why we're doing this. We still have 3 weeks to go. This gives us some latitude and some time to manage the bots. There is a migration plan for the bots. Pretty straightforward process. 4-step: stop the bot, convert, replicate, restart. For the DCA bots, try to have it complete the current cycle. If the current cycle does not complete before the 31st, you can manage it manually. Both are possible, but in all the cases, there will not be any loss. There is no loss if you replicate the settings and be careful about what you're doing throughout the process. And this should be very good for everybody. That's it. Most of the resources, as I talk about very often, there's the knowledge base, the blog. Knowledge base contains all the documentation, the YouTube channel, which is somewhere where we post most of our videos. So just go there, like the different videos. This is very important from a visibility perspective. So this is great. And finally, that's it. So thank you. Hopefully this video will be helpful for Bitsgap users. And it's not just for Bitsgap, it's for trading in general. So hopefully this was some benefit to you guys. And anyways, if you're running automation bots on the 31st of March, those bots will become ideal. So you will have to convert. So there are 3 weeks to go. Get ready, be prepared. As I always say, it's all about getting organized, getting structured, having a strategy moving forward. So good luck in your trading, good luck in your conversions, and talk to you soon.